wanted to get back on a Thursday or whatever to see Top the Pops because Shaky was on. And when we first met as kids, we went carol singing. But all we did was 50 stuff, doo-wop stuff. And I remember doing a couple of Shaky records, but me and my mates would all be there doing 50 stuff. We did well. That's not why we continued. It weren't about money, it was just a love of a particular style of music. Sorry.
I'd like to ask one or two questions to start to finish up with, so we actually know really who you are. Who's your favourite female singer? I know the answer. Come on.
Well, you know, there are thousands. I would go. Number one is it's Dinah Washington who I'd like to listen to, but it could be Billie Holiday. So it's like one of the two. So Dinah Washington, Billie Holiday.
Male singer.
Big Joe Turner is always has been, and there are many others, and they can never be. It's like what's your favourite colour? It's either red or blue. There are a thousand, but
you're roots of rock and roll, but you know a lot about the blues.
Yes.
Give me a couple of blues names that have affected you.
Well, I'm not talking about the blues. When I first got into it, it was a kind of rhythm and blues. All these guys based on a swinging background. But when I used to go to the clubs, I used to go to these 50s themed clubs, and I fell in love with one of the first couple of tracks was Slim Harpo. Don't start crying now. You ain't never had a cry, baby. Don't start crying now. So, whoa! Yeah. Slim Harpo. Dr. Ross, the harmonica boss. They used to play a track Cat Squirrel all the time. Fantastic. Had a kind of like Cajun feel to it almost. It's like beautiful. And we would all get up and bop. And I say by bopping, so I would always be up like jiving with girls. But the bopping thing, if I look at it now, I think it's kind of like a cross between almost tap dancing and some kind of like white 30s hillbilly kind of like funny thing. I don't know.
Irish.
Yeah, which of course would stem back from some Irish thing. Yeah. Same as you go to these 50 clubs now, and they would always do the strolling thing, which now, of course, just everyone knows as line dancing, but it's similar.
Right, yeah. There's a lyric by Slim Gaillard, a song that goes similarly.
I can't believe I haven't mentioned Slim. Slim is one of the weirdest guys. Does anybody know of Slim Gaillard?
Well, Slim was in London for a long time.
Yeah. Yes.
At the White Club, and I used to dance there.
Right. So you do. Yeah, you know. So he was around like Hollywood in the 40s. I think had an affair with Lana Turner, as he was very proud to say when we met him. He was known as Dark Gable. So it was like, wonderful. A very handsome man. Yeah. Fantastic player, invented his own kind of like a runic, like Cab Calloway, his own jive talk, and used to sing surreal, weird scat songs.
Waffling. What's the lyric?
Yes, but he'd come out with a song called Chicken Rhythm that just went. So you get
it wasn't a B.
Well, it's how you want to interpret it. So we played with Slim. We re-recorded that record. We released that record. I remember my grandmother having this record, basically, and she thought it was lovely. She never caught on to what it was about at all. Yeah, but good old Slim.
Well, now a dozen albums later.
But just thinking about Slim.
He's going to sing the whole song.
And Cab Calloway, it's like those funny things when you get to chat to them. It's like the end of the night, we've done a gig with Cab Calloway. This is a bloke that's not only done everything and goes back to the Cotton Club, but the whole kind of Dutch Schultz gangster, the whole, everything that you look back on in the 20s and the 30s. And we're chatting to him back at his hotel, and then realised he's fast asleep. Because he's 83, he's had enough of this chatting. He's gone to sleep like, let's just back off and leave him. And then the Slim Gaylord, I remember an old friend of mine, and he's brought a 78 of cement mixer putty putter. One of his first hits, cement mixer putty putter, and hands it to Slim to sign. And Slim went, "Oh, thank you, and put it in his bag." And my mate was like devastated. There's no way he can say, "Listen, I want that back." It was gone forever. Thank you.
We could go on in Mark for hours and hours.
Sorry.
Is that the sign to stop? No,
No, there's a question.
The band's been on the road now for 32 years.
Yes.
They're an institution. I'm very proud of them. One of the finest bands ever out of Birmingham, and there's so many more stories. I think we've got to invite you back again. But I want to leave at least 5 minutes afterwards for questions. So please don't waste my 5 minutes. Ask the man a question.
One day you're going to play that. Now, what we are, or what I was just a fanatic about a particular type of music, right? I don't know what I'm going to play. That's not a great interest. I just love a particular kind of music, and eventually I find a lot of people that are like-minded lovers of that music.
Right.
They're not musicians necessarily. They're not going to form a band. We're just fanatics about a kind of music. And the biggest thing you want to do is, if we could form a band to do that, wouldn't that be great? Let's learn to play something. It's a completely different point of start from where you're starting.
Right.
It's not about playing something and playing music. It's about just loving a particular type of music and trying to form a band. Right, you learn that, and let's form that band.
So you play keyboard, you play pianos?
So what I mean is, when I was at school, I had a few keyboard lessons and played a bit of piano, so I had some understanding of playing music.
Right, okay.
When we started a band, the first band I ever played, I played bass guitar. I played a bit of bass guitar, and then when I wanted to form a 50s rock and roll band, I found a mate of mine who got, like I say, Chris Shirley, got a double bass. He's got a double bass. Who gives a shit about a bass guitar? He's got that job. What am I going to do now? Okay, I'll get a saxophone. I fancy the saxophone. I didn't fancy the piano at the time, although I could play keyboards to a certain extent. Because I thought of that, although I'm absolute Little Richard and Fats Domino and Joe Lee and all the rest of it fanatic, but I'm thinking that's something I can't carry around. We're busking at the time, we're just trying around a few quid. I'll get a saxophone, and my mate will sing, and we did our first gig ever as kids.
So how old were you when this started?
When I first started, I was 7. And I'd watched Jimmy Osmond singing "Long Hair Liverpool," and everyone in my family and every family friend has said, right, we said he's going to be an opportunity, we're going to get into it, which obviously I didn't do. So, but by the time I was a teenager, I was singing in the street, and a friend of mine was a singer as well, and he was going to be the singer. And then we had one rehearsal, and his girlfriend said, no, you ain't going out tonight. And they had an argument, and he didn't come. So I said, right, I've always wanted to be a singer, I'll sing. So I sang.
So opportunity did knock.
Yeah, and I can sing. Yeah, I'm now a great singer, I can sing. And so I did that. But it was all from not a musical point of entrance, but a love of a certain music that we just wanted to do it.
So if I said it was more to do with showing off, you wouldn't agree?
Well, I mean, yeah, there was a certain amount of that, of course, but I mean, sitting there, I always feel like
You could have taken your clothes.
embarrassed about it. I'm not a show off. Although, I did spend a lot of early days having the clothes up, but that's what
You had a question?
Yeah, I was curious. You mentioned Roy Wood and Slade and everybody, Steve Gibbons. Did you play with? Did you and your band play with the other band?
Well, it's kind of like now I'm lucky that we're mates, but I mean, like they were like desperate idols, bands. So now that's okay, and we're mates, and I get to chat to them and still tell them how much I love them and appreciate them.
Do you never play within the bands?
What
Because a
they've
lot of
done for me.
Birmingham bands, obviously, the same musicians appeared in different different groups.
At least half of the people who are in my band or have been in my band play with Roy, and vice versa. So there's that connection with him. None with Slade. Steve Gibbons, he's played with us many times, and vice versa. There's been many people within the band, so there's a nice connection there. So apart from Noddy and Slade, who I will still worship, I've never played with them
They were forever cruising, weren't they?
but all the rest of the band and the guys, definitely, yeah.
Was there a connection with Ricky Cool? Was there a connection?
Again, as a mate, of course. I mean, he's a drummer, he's brilliant. We've had a great time together. He's done a couple of tracks on our last couple of albums, and vice versa. I did something with him before that. Like anything, it's like you all start off with these separate things as kids, no matter which decade it is, but by the end of it, you're just all mates together, musicians, and particularly if you're in a local town, like, we're all Brummies, Black Country or whatever, you just all mingle and do things, for each other. Or lucky things, when people fall ill or whatever, and you got people like Jim will promote things then to get all the guys together to look after the people who are not doing so well, and vice versa.
We're running out of time, chaps. Do we have another question or so?
I've got one. How old are you?
I'm only 53.
Oh, right. Not done so well.
Like I say, I haven't worn very well, but it's because I've lived it up somewhat, but I am only 53. I was born in March the 13th, 1966, quarter to 4 on a Sunday morning.
So I've got more of a timeline, because
Right, yeah. So everything I love, I missed.
You're gonna, well, I was
Kind
going
of
to say,
thing.
this is what I was going to say,
Rock and roll,
because
late 50s.
you seem
I look back on that.
you're
But I
talking
thought
about
about-
an age before my sort of
Yeah,
teenage years, if you know what I mean.
but it started with the 50s thing, and I look and I talked to my mum and dad, both long time split up, so they got family. Mum's husband, fanatic musician, music lover. But they, and I don't mean this in a cocky way, and they kind of like looked at me, who was that, who did that again? And I'll just tell them, don't try and make me prove that now, because I'll probably go horribly wrong. But when you're into something, you become that fanatical about it. It's even more than, it can't be more than living through it, but
You could spend an hour with any long dead artist of any style. Who would that person be?
oh, okay. Can I just firstly just jump quickly back to the last question as well? This is like these old guys. It's like what I remember was the first thing being into rock and roll is one of my very earliest discoveries in the blues was through Elvis, and it was like My Baby Left Me and after Big Boy Crudup, that led me to that. And there were so many things, like I'd always hear one record and then find out that someone had done it previously. So that was a big one. What was that question again? Oh, if there's anyone?
Any person you spend an hour with now.
all of them, of course. They must have had such amazing lives.
Would it be an American? Would it be would it be Jack Turner?
No, well, I would have said Joe Turner or Jimmy Rushing. I was just trying to think in case there might be something else. But Big Joe Turner, Jimmy Rushing, big men that sang the blues with a lot of power, that played with all the greatest blues guys, all the greatest jazz guys, all the greatest musicians of their era. Whether they could have moved on musically or not, who knows, but who cares? That was their thing, and they did it better than anyone else will ever do. Not ever did, but will ever do.
Absolutely right. Yeah. I think the words Jimmy Rushing and Joe Turner are a pretty good way to end this. Thank you, King. You've been splendid. Well done.
Yeah.